Good afternoon. I'm Bonna Heinzen with the Cook County Farm Bureau, and I'm here today with Jack Smith, who is recently retired from Country Financial. Jack, if you could provide us just a little bit of an introduction.
Hi, well, I'm Jack Smith. I just retired December 31st of 2020 after 36 years with Country. I started my career in Champaign County and was introduced to the Farm Bureau at that time and took a management role in Cook County in 1990. So I've had the privilege of 31 years in a management role working with the Cook County Farm Bureau.
That's wonderful. Jack, in that management role, can you speak a little bit about the agency you were at and your responsibilities and then touch on the connection between Country Financial and Farm Bureau, please?
Okay. Well, I was fortunate enough to be one of the first managers to come in the Chicagoland area and start a scratch agency, which basically means I came up here with no location and no agents. So over the years, through recruiting and alignment, so on and so forth, I grew that to 28 agents when I retired. But starting out, my first interview with the Cook County Farm Bureau Board was December of 1989. Alden Killian was the manager of Cook County at the time. And then obviously after Alden's retirement, Bob Rohr stepped in. So I was fortunate to have a great relationship with those two gentlemen. How we worked with the Farm Bureau, starting the scratch agency, the agents had to learn not only Country, but our corporate affiliation with the Farm Bureau and the benefits that come with that. And I always found it was extremely important that the reps understood and explained all the benefits that came with the Farm Bureau at a local level and state level, as well as with Country. So over the years, that relationship has always been very strong. Cook County has always been so giving to the agents, from educating them on the benefits to working hand in hand to co-oping things to incentivize the agents, so on and so forth. So.
Very nice. Now, Jack, in your role through Country Financial and also as a Farm Bureau member, you participated in various activities and events, and you've had various volunteer opportunities. Can you speak just a little bit about those?
Sure. There's a couple times a year that I always look forward to, and that was Food Checkout Day. Thank you for that over the years. The foundation. Cook County Foundation, through the dinners and the membership appreciation, the auctions that we've had over the years, Ag in the Classroom, which is a great a benefit throughout the state. Cook County was always very giving at the golf outing. We'd always get a chance to golf with some of the board members, the president, so on and so forth. So those years, throughout the years, those were the two events I look forward to. And then also the annual meeting downtown. We had a couple of years over the 31 years where we ventured down to St. Louis, but primarily it was in the city of Chicago. And Cook County was so generous about taking us to dinner and make us feel like we're part of the family, which we are. And it gets us all together and reflect on the year.
So you said something that I think is incredibly important, and it's the fact that Farm Bureau and Country Financial are a family and truly work hand in hand. And I want to commend you, especially because I feel like you have always made that point and have always encouraged your agents and made sure that they saw it that way too, as a partnership. And I just talk a little bit about that partnership and a little bit of the history of that partnership.
Well, obviously the affiliation with the holding company of IAA, so on and so forth. But the one thing that sticks out over the years was the Food Checkout Day and the affiliation we had with Ronald McDonald House. I'd have agents that, why can't I go this year? Each agency would bring 2 to 3 agents, and we had years where we would volunteer and bring in lunch where we could bring multiple agents. But I think the way that Alden Killian and Bob Rohr have always treated the agents as a definitely as a partner. Um, Bob always made a point to come out once a year and bring the agency up to speed on change. We'd have a little lunch and laugh together, but I think the reps always respected the leadership at Cook County and the opportunity that they had to work with them.
I would agree. I think that the communication and the partnership has been so strong, and it's really neat to see. As you reflect back over your time in Cook County, what changes have you seen in the county and agriculture in the demographics that you work with?
Well, obviously, the role as the in Cook County, the farm ground has somewhat over years has shrunk, but the board and the people that give to the Cook County Farm Bureau still wants to tell the story about agriculture in a rural area. I grew up in Champaign County, which is a very rich farming community, and but here in Cook County, when I would interact with our clients and even our new agents, they have very little knowledge on farming whatsoever, and they really, they appreciate the connection that the companies put together through agriculture.
Excellent. And a moment ago, you brought up one of my favorite programs, and I'm hoping that you'd be willing to talk a little bit more about how the program has changed and what you've seen as you've been a volunteer, and that's Food Checkout Day. And you have been involved with Food Checkout Day for over 10 years, over 15 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's just the amount of engagement that you guys, the Farm Bureau, put in and work with Ronald McDonald House and today with the food banks throughout Cook County, and the amount of volunteers that show up on. There was days you remember it was 0 degrees out and snowing and so on and so forth, but to go back to Ronald McDonald House and see the impact on those families, it was always a soft day in my heart. Obviously, it goes without saying the amount of financial contribution they made to Ronald McDonald House and continuing today through the food bank. But the agents, when they would take the day off and we would go downtown and go to the different Ronald McDonald houses to see the impact of that, and they understand, they didn't understand the day of Food Checkout Day. How many days it took the average, American to realize what the cost of food is. So that always had a soft spot in all of our hearts in Cook County. And I was fortunate enough to manage always in Cook County, but with multiple counties. I was in Kane County for a period of time and along with Cook and in DuPage. And both of those counties are phenomenal also. But I think the way the Farm Bureaus get engaged with the communities is outstanding.
Wonderful. You brought up one of the things that I always, even within my own family, I talk about is with Food Checkout Day, having those opportunities to meet the families and go back to the house and see what your contributions do. And I have to thank you because you always bring agents who are incredibly engaged in the program, who have a good time, who are fun to be with, and just seeing it and seeing the commitment every year makes my heart swell because it's such a program that has been near and dear to us for so long, and it's so incredible that other people feel that same way.
Well, it's just that feeling of giving back a little bit, pay it forward, and especially for those hardships of those families at Ronald McDonald House, it's a tough day. I mean, it's a fulfilling day, but it pulls on your heartstrings a little bit to see what those families go through. And without the help of Cook County and multiple donors to those organizations, I don't know how that would happen.
Absolutely. I want to go back just for a moment and touch on something you said in the very beginning. You said that you did a from scratch agency. And
Correct.
can you explain a little bit what that entails and what you had to do as part of that?
Okay. A scratch agency, that's sort of an insurance term, I guess, if you will. When I came up here, we did not have a large presence in Cook County. At the time, we had a southern Cook County agency and a northern Cook County agency. And then Country had made the commitment to continue to grow. And so I came up and we found a location in Schaumburg. It was my job to find a location, negotiate a lease, and then start hiring um, insurance agents and financial reps. And during that process, you build a team, but during that growth period, you have to make sure they understand why we do what we do. Training's involved, licensing this is involved, um, and marketing and networking is huge. And we've had to make sure that we did a good job of explaining to the clients what the affiliation was with the Farm Bureau and Country Financial. When I was an agent in Champaign County, everybody knew Illinois Farm Bureau, everybody knew Country Financial. When I came to the collar counties up here in the early 90s, we didn't have a big name presence or a market share whatsoever. So it was sort of unique coming up here, and everyone you talked to, you had to tell the story to. Whereas in a lot of parts of Illinois, you don't have to do that. But so over the period of time, we would hire agents, develop those agents. They would build books of business. They would become involved in the communities, and that brought us here today.
Wonderful. Now, as you look, you just retired. You're not even a month into retirement, but I heard a rumor that you're staying involved in Farm Bureau as a volunteer. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's something I've done. It's just a passion now, and I've asked Bob anytime I get the opportunity to stay on at whatever level of volunteering or giving back. I want to continue to do that. You just don't stop. On January 1st, you just don't stop with what you've done for so many years. So, and I think that's a reflection on the staff down there and on Bob and yourself that, it's always been fun. It was never a job or, something we had to do. So I'd like to continue to do that.
I think that's wonderful. As we are nearing time, is there any final thought or any parting thought that you want to offer?
Well, it's obviously 100 years. I wish the Farm Bureau and the Illinois Farm Bureau the best. I think our sales force with Country, especially in Cook County, understands it. And I think the people that's going to continue to go after me and the agents after my agents will continue to stay engaged. And today we do things virtually, which I would have, we would have asked us this 2 years ago. I had no idea what Zoom meant. But you guys have adapted on the run. I've done board meetings virtually and so on and so forth. And it's just a way to stay engaged. So I just wish the Farm Bureau the best. It's been a good run.
Jack, thank you so much. First for talking to me and also for your years of service. It has always been a pleasure to work with you. And you have no idea how happy I am that you're staying as a volunteer and will remain involved.
Yes. So if you guys ever need anything, you've got my number, you got my email. We're not going anywhere. And we'll stay in touch.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jack. I truly appreciate it.
Bye-bye.